Gosh, the holidays are here in their full glory with all of the beautiful decorations, and the sounds of the season are already streaming in most stores. And it began in October as people brought out their fall decor, pumpkins and hay bales, and let's not forget pumpkin spice lattes. Actually, no, girl, I can't get down with that. I feel like I am the only female on the planet that does not do a countdown to pumpkin spice season. I mean, what is the big freaking deal with PSLs anyway? Oh, by the way, though, for those of you who do not know, PSL stands for Pumpkin Spice Latte. And don't feel bad if you didn't know, because I had to ask somebody after seeing somebody post on Facebook about it. So, anyhow, I do want to get something straight, though, too, while we're here. I love me some pumpkin pie. I do love me some pumpkin pie. But pumpkin pie and pumpkin spice latte, two very different things. It isn't even remotely the same. Anyway, now let's fast forward to November, weeks before Thanksgiving, and pictures of Christmas trees are already being posted on social media. The ornaments are being hung. The cinnamon, you can smell it a mile away. It is in full effect, and parties are being planned for Thanksgiving and Christmas. Yay! Yay! So bring on the holiday stress, right? First of all, having to figure out which one of the events we should or shouldn't go to is just the beginning. Not to mention thinking about purchasing gifts for all of the people on our list with a budget that would literally make Santa feel bad and just dump his entire sleigh on your house. I mean, how do people do it anyway? Honestly, in reality, the holidays are a celebration for some, and for others, the holidays suck, and there is no other way to say it. Then you add on top of that the immense amount of sadness that the holidays bring for so many people. And I know this. I know this because I am one of those people. When October hits, there is this trigger that happens within me. The sadness starts to rear its ugly head, and it takes everything I have to not rip off the last 2 pages of my calendar and just hide it in my room until January rolls around. And I know that there are many others who feel the same exact way, and that is the reason why I wanted to share this video with you. I want you to know that you're not alone. And if I were to guess, I would probably say that there are probably at least 80% of the world, whether they want to admit it or not, are in the same boat that we are. So clearly, this is just my opinion. It's not based on actual studies, and I'm sure we could probably research and find the actual numbers, but I still would bank on the fact that they would pretty much come pretty close to what my opinion is. Anyway, all I know for a fact is this: the holidays suck for a lot of people. It really does open doors of sadness due to the loss of a loved one, maybe due to financial hardships, due to changes within the family dynamics. And sometimes it just brings light to the fact that you don't really have anyone around you at all. So whatever your story is, I want you to know that I get it. I may not know the exact pain because we are all so different and have different stories to tell, but I do know what it feels like in October to walk into a store and see the decorations on the shelves and to feel this large void within my heart. It's that void that just leads to the tears that begin to well up in your eyes, and you quickly have to shift gears because you don't want anyone to see you getting emotional and potentially even crying in the middle of a store. Or maybe it's just the fact that you see posts on social media and all of a sudden you see all the families and social events and you really just don't know how things are going to be for you this year. There is a battle within your heart and mind about how to keep focused on what really is important, and yet not really knowing how to move past your emotions. And I get it. I absolutely get it. And then how about those of you who have made poor choices and feel as if the holidays and all the special occasions are when you really begin to feel the consequences of the actions? Yeah, I get that too. I totally get that too. The holidays suck. Or do they? Do they suck? Or does the condition of our heart in the midst of the season suck? And how do we turn that around? How can we move past the pain so that we don't allow 2 months of our calendar year to defeat our hearts? These are the questions I've been asking myself for quite a few years now. In all transparency, these are questions I have asked myself probably for the last 9 years when I personally made a decision that changed the course of my life forever. It has been a heartbreaking, and yet on the flip side has also been a very eye-opening time about my own mind and my own heart. The holidays have literally left me numb and asking God sometimes just to take away my ability to even feel. And yet, my awareness of others has heightened. So I have to ask myself, do the holidays really suck? Because while they have been so different for the last 9 years, and while there are dynamics that I still wish that I could change, the one thing that I am grateful for is the fact that I have been awakened to the disparity that happens in many hearts during this time of year. My eyes have been opened to the reality that while it breaks my heart year after year, there are also so many others that have experienced extreme heart-wrenching holidays as well. So this year I have decided that the holidays will no longer dictate the outcome of my season. And before you shoo me off because you're not ready to let go of your hurt, please hear me out. Just please hear me out here. When all of my triggers happened last October, literally just last month, the beginning of the month, I spent a day ignoring phone calls and texts. I barely functioned at work. I pretty much came home and was like a zombie. And all of that happened simply because I saw ornaments hitting the shelves, and it sent a trigger into my brain and into my heart of my past pain. And then I also started to think about what it would be like again this year. So some of you may hear me saying that, and you may think that I'm a freaking hot mess. And so are the people that can relate to me. And if that is you, you are welcome to stop listening now, or you can keep listening and maybe figure out a way that you can be a part of the change for those who hurt deeply during the holidays. For those of you holiday hot messes out there like me, I want to sincerely tell you that you are worth more than your emotions tell you you are. You are worth more than you believe that you are. Even if you have screwed up in a big way, or even if you have lost someone or something dear, maybe that has brought your holidays to a screeching halt, your emotions and your feelings do not have to dictate the outcome of your season. It really does not have to. And listen, I am not saying that the holidays will make a complete turnaround and that you won't experience any kind of triggers or pain. I honestly think that that is pretty inevitable when you have gone through something that is very traumatic. So I'm not saying that. However, I do believe that we have to help ourselves each year to not allow the triggers to control our lives. It definitely should not control our joy. We have to find ways to realign those triggers of sadness with triggers of joy and something good. And for those who watched my first video or you read my first blog, you heard me say, I'm not a counselor, I'm not a life coach, I'm not a pastor, I'm nothing of the sort. I am simply a woman, an ordinary woman who wants to make a difference. So all I can do is share some things that worked for me, and they may be concepts and ideas that have come from other people out there, other books that I've read, other gurus and videos, podcasts. I'm not going to claim that I own the rights to any of these things, but I do want to share them, and I do want to tell you what has helped me on my journey to changing the outcome of my holidays. So first, this is the first thing. I know, as cliche as this may sound, meditation and prayer and time with God has really given me the ability to latch on to His wisdom and His strength instead of latching on to my own frail human emotions. And I really don't need to go into depth about that because that speaks for itself. Meditation and time with God. Second, I had to accept that it will never be the same. Please look at me right now and hear what I am saying. As much as I wish that things would change, it will never be the same. Whatever is causing your holidays to suck, you're going to have to embrace it and just embrace the change that it has brought. The moment that you accept that the past holidays are just that, past holidays, as amazing as they were, hold on to the memories, but start focusing on the now and future holidays. That is the moment that the trigger will simply alert you and not hurt you anymore. Because instead of thinking about how sucky the holidays have been, it will actually be a trigger that will let you know that it's time to start realigning your thought process so that you can find joy in the season and not want to rip out the last 2 pages of the calendar. It's really going to help you live in the last 2 months of the year, which brings me to the third thing that has helped me. Third, stop thinking about yourself and your issues and how sucky they are. You are not a holiday victim. Yes, it sucks. Yes, it hurts. Yes, life could and should be better. But no, it does not have to ruin your life or your holidays. There is still so much more to life if you could just open your eyes and your heart and your mind to the possibilities. It will also open your eyes to what is around you, who is around you. And that could be a blessing that you have been missing all along. Fourth, I began to really find other people and things to pour myself into. And I said this in my first video as well. I truly believe that helping others is a huge part of our healing process. And I also believe that helping others can fill us with the joy that we would otherwise not feel. Happiness, that's something totally separate, and that is temporary. Happiness is based on our circumstances and on our feelings, but joy is something that we can feel even in the midst of our pain. It is something that exists that is way beyond us. It is something that I feel is supernatural and beyond explanation. It is that moment when someone looks at you and says, wow, you are really handling that situation well, as you tell them about your story. That is the moment that you know that your joy is present. It isn't that the circumstance has changed or gotten better, but you have. So here are the 4 things that helped me, again, just in case you want to write these down. First, spend time in meditation with God and center yourself. Second, accept that it will never be the same, and that is okay. Third, do not become a holiday victim. Fourth, help others. Find someone else that could use some joy. And remember, this isn't going to be an instant change. Insta joy is not what we are after. It can happen, but in most cases, I have realized that inspa joy is where the change is. It is inspiring that joy, making a conscious effort to inspire that change within ourselves, within our heart belief, so that we can then pass it on, just pass on some inspa joy to others who really, really need it. So are you ready to stop saying holidays suck? I know I am. So let's realign our hearts and realign our triggers to alert us to take the necessary steps. Because after all, Christmas really isn't about us anyway, right? It's about celebrating the birth of a beautiful Savior who gave us grace and love in abundance to live a life full of joy. So let's start now. Start with step 1. Just work your way through the other steps because I know you got this. So, hey, happy Thanksgiving and have a very Merry Christmas season, okay? Have an inspa joyful day as you share inspa joy with someone else. Make that your priority. Bye.